Welcome to Swipe. Here's what we've got for you on this week's show.
Angela's in Dublin, finding out how tech startups are faring side by side with the tech giants. Pedal Power. I test out a new system designed to turn any bicycle into an electric one. And Lucy looks at the latest video games and offers us the return of a cult classic.
That's all coming up for you in the next 10 minutes or so, after a quick look at some of the tech news headlines that got us talking this week.
More than 1 million people have signed an online petition calling on Snapchat to undo its latest redesign to the app. The update separates interactions with friends from public and branded content, but users say it's annoying and has made many features more difficult. Amazon has been cleared after one of its TV adverts triggered its voice-activated Alexa service to order cat food in a viewer's home. An Echo Dot owner who was able to cancel the order had complained to the Advertising Standards Authority, saying the ad was socially irresponsible. A train station in China that's over 100 years old has been given a tech upgrade to handle the Chinese New Year rush. Little Yuan is on hand at Taiyuan Station to help passengers. There are mobile phone charging points and face scanning technology for checking in. Also in China this week, Formula E driver Ho Pin-tung drove up one of the country's best-known landmarks. Here he is climbing 999 steps leading to Heaven's Gate at Tianmen Mountain. And as you can see, he was successful. And not far from Winter Olympics action this week, a group of robots took part in their own sporting event. Teams put forward their bots in what organisers called the first ever robot skiing competition.
We'll be talking pedal power in a couple of minutes. First though, Ireland's low corporate tax rate has long made it an attractive location for tech giants. But Dublin's got a buzzing startup scene too, one that Angela's been to visit to find out if having those big tech companies in town has been a help or a hindrance.
The Grand Canal Dock area of Dublin, home to the European headquarters of some of the world's biggest multinational tech companies. Google, Facebook and LinkedIn are just some of the recognisable names, and their presence is transforming the city. The Irish Venture Capital Association forecasts that tech firms raised a record €1 billion last year. That's more than £870 million. The figures indicate the startup scene is thriving, but is sharing the city with the bigger tech companies a help or a hindrance? At Google, we spoke to the man in charge of helping new companies scale and grow on a global stage.
So we do a lot of work at a community engagement level first off. So a good example of that would be we run or support a First Fridays event in Dogpatch Labs, which is a co-working space at the centre of the community here in the Docklands. So we send mentors down there. Any startup can apply across the country. They have people dropping in. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff, and we run events here then on a monthly basis.
Girl Crew, a social network app for women, is one of the startup's success stories, raising over £650,000 since launching in June this year.
We've been part of Google's Adopt a Startup programme and had members of teams there help us out really directly, give us advice, share their experiences with us.
Health tech business webdoctor.ie is another success story. They've raised just under £2 million, but have experienced the challenges posed by having the bigger firms in the city.
So obviously having the big multinationals here will drive up salary costs and demand for housing. But some of the large multinationals make a real effort to engage with the community.
The likes of Facebook and Google might be snapping up talent and making it difficult for new companies to compete with the packages that they're offering. But they're also significantly boosting networking opportunities and support for startups, which adds significantly to the Irish ecosystem.
Top investors in the city say they've observed other trends.
We do also see a lot of is people coming out of these companies, and these are companies that foster this culture of innovation, of growth, of scale, of ambition, and we see people coming out of these companies then into smaller startups and smaller Irish companies.
For startups in Ireland, the advice from the top: think internationally very quickly. Because scaling just for the Irish market has its challenges. But as a result, it's forcing entrepreneurs to aim for a global audience early on. Angela Barnes, Sky News in Dublin.
Back here in the UK, there's a startup keen to take you further and faster with a portable kit they say can turn any bicycle into an electric one. The team behind Switch smashed their crowdfunding target through support from backers pledging money to help them take their prototype to market.
My name's Oliver. I'm proud to be a British engineer. I studied at Oxford University and I'm dedicated to inventing low-carbon technologies that are good for the planet.
Technologies just like the Switch Bike Conversion Kit.
It's a lightweight electric motor wheel that replaces your regular bicycle wheel, and the Switch Power Pack, which contains the battery, bike controller and display, and this is what powers your bike.
So this is what every customer gets.
Yeah.
How heavy is it? That's quite heavy.
It's just under 3 kilograms, and it's actually about 50% of the weight of the normal components that go on an electric bike.
The system fits onto your regular bicycle. The front wheel is replaced by one with an inbuilt hub motor before you add other components like pedal and brake sensors.
So if somebody wanted an electric boost to their cycling, wouldn't they just buy an e-bike?
Well, most e-bikes, as we were discussing before, are like 8 or 10 kilograms heavier than a regular bike, and they don't handle like regular bicycles. So someone that still wants to have a bicycle would need to have one bicycle and one e-bike.
The battery typically lasts for 25 miles with a heavier option that takes you further.
How fast can you go?
Well, for legal reasons, we have to limit it to 15 miles an hour. For our US customers, we soup up the motor to 20 miles an hour, which is the limit there.
It feels like this has taken quite a while to put together, but you've only got to do it once, right?
Well, I would say it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to do the initial conversion, and once you've done that, it's almost instant.
Now, what better way to see the clip-on system in action than to take every kind of bicycle imaginable for a zip around town with some of Ollie's colleagues. I did say every kind of bike.
I can really feel the power.
The electric boost comes in when you pedal. After a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo that saw the team achieve 576% of their funding goal, nearly £250,000, they've been able to get the first batch produced in China, and the clip-on kits are due in shops in April. However, each system will set you back just under £500.
Oh, I like that.
But remember, if you're going to add motor power to your bike, at least make sure you know how to handle it. I'll just stick to the scooter for now.
Video games time now. Here's Lucy.
So with the announcement that we're getting Bayonetta 3, Nintendo and Platinum Games are bringing Bayonetta 1 and 2 to the Nintendo Switch, which is huge. So the original Bayonetta came out almost 10 years ago now. It's something of a cult classic, featuring a female protagonist who's strong, she's sexy, and the second game came out on the Wii U, and so obviously now that we're getting number 3, we're finally getting those games on the Nintendo Switch. They haven't really changed that much, but the one big thing they're doing is that Bayonetta 1 and 2 will be playable in 60 frames per second, which for a hack and slash action game like this is super important. You want to get as much on screen as possible to really get in that frenetic energy. If you've never played Bayonetta before and you have a Nintendo Switch, then honestly, this is the pack for you.
Through the high pines and the whispers of the forest.
Feja is from a Swedish developer, hence why it's called Feja. And what's really interesting about this game is who is publishing it. So it's EA who are publishing this game. It is from an indie developer. Feja is a gorgeous looking game. You play as a fox-like creature and you are kind of going through this beautiful looking forest. It's very colourful and dark at the same time, and this forest is being attacked by these strange outside forces, and you as Feja are going through this forest and you're interacting with the creatures, the flora and the fauna that you see in the forest. But what's also really cool about this game is it kind of bucks the trend that we see in modern gaming, where everything is kind of handed to you. You won't ever be stuck really in a modern game because the game will always be telling you, go this way, do this, talk to this person. Feja is bucking that trend in that it's giving you all the tools and it's letting you go out and explore.
Forgive me for what I'm about to do.
Metal Gear Survive is the first Metal Gear game that's coming out of Konami that won't have Hideo Kojima's input. So Hideo Kojima is kind of the vision behind the Metal Gear franchise. He left the company a couple of years ago, and this is the first game they're releasing without him. So the reaction to this game already has been quite interesting because some people feel like it doesn't perfectly encapsulate you know, the political intrigue that really made the Metal Gear series special. But Metal Gear Survive on its own takes place in between Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain. You can play the game by yourself, or you can play it cooperatively with your friends where you undertake missions together. Metal Gear Survive will be using the kind of same infamous and incredible stealth mechanics we grew to know and love throughout the Metal Gear series. And being able to play it online with your friends is a big draw. If you want to give the game a try, there is a free beta this weekend.
Well, that's it for this week's show. Don't forget to join us again for more Swipe next week. And in the meantime, why not follow us on Twitter @SkyNewsSwipe. See you soon. Bye-bye.